Hey guys, welcome to Entertainment Talk Nation. I'm your host Rob. This video we're going to do a first half recap of The Walking Dead Season 4. Okay guys, welcome back. This video, like I said, we're going to do a recap of the first half of The Walking Dead. I was going to do a recap of all the episodes, doing 2 at a time, but then I decided, you know what? I actually have all my reviews from the first half of Season 4 that was on ODT that I haven't actually transferred over to this one yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload those, so that way you guys can actually see my review if you want. Originally when I did it, which is usually the best time to watch a review because you get to see my initial reaction. And instead of breaking it down by episode, doing a recap, I'm just going to recap the whole first half, upload my old reviews so you guys can check it out if you want, and then we'll go from there. So in terms of the first half of the season, my final thoughts on it were it was a very, very good first half. It was very different. It was very dark from what we've seen before, and I know that's hard to say considering you wonder, well, can you get any darker than you have been? Yes, you can. You can very much get dark. And what I mean by that, it's very, very demoralizing first half. There was really very little hope because every time these guys seemed to finally get over the hump of something else came out. You know, when the disease hit, it was trying to get a control of everything going on in the cell block, getting people into quarantine, trying to help people, and then while they're doing this, the gates are coming down. And so now you were dealing with the ins and the outs of all the threats. Finally, just when they start getting things under some control, obviously we start to see the governor come back. You have that one episode, remember, where we saw him at the very end. Then we got 2 episodes of him, and then that's when everything started to take off in terms of the governor versus the prison, the final battle. So, you know, the first half would build a very good intensity. It was a very gradual build-up to a very heartbreaking emotional ending, and that's what I like about it so much because we really haven't had that in a while. You know, Andrea's death didn't bother anybody because nobody cared about her, and it's not a knock on the actress because I love her. I've seen her in a lot of work. I think it was just they did not grasp Andrea from the comic, which a lot of people are a fan of, and so that's where they messed up. Nobody cared about T-Dog's death. I mean, it bothered some people, but not really. You know what I mean? Laurie was another one. Nobody cared about Laurie's death. You know, so, I mean, when we really sit back and think about it, what was the last death that we really, really were bothered by? And, I mean, I'm sure I'm sitting here not remembering every detail. I know that maybe Dale's death may be counted for a lot of people as a death they didn't want to see. Merle, maybe, you know, Merle's death was definitely a little heartbreaking because even though he always, you know, rubbed us the wrong way, or he always seemed like an anti-hero. One minute you like him, next minute you don't. It hurt us more because of Daryl, because it was Daryl's brother. We know that despite Daryl's commitment to Rick, he was very committed to his brother, very family committed, and we can all appreciate that. So I would guess maybe Merle's death was the last one that kind of bothered us a little bit because he did try to redeem himself, but, you know, he came up a little short in the end, and you know, we got to see him turn, and we got to see Daryl heartbroken. So maybe that one, but before that, I really can't recall any that were really significant. Herschel's death was a choker. I mean, we felt like we got hung. Because here's a man who is very, very obviously helpful. He tries to find the best solution possible. He put his ass on the line so many times, especially in the first half of the season when he was trying to help everybody with the elder tea. And, you know, it was a very gut-wrenching death. But it made the show a lot better because, you know, you felt that. You know, we were missing that element. So I think the first half of season 4 was great. It was a little concerning after a while because I thought maybe they were going to run with the whole disease storyline for a while, but when I look back at it now, it really wasn't that bad. You know, obviously the herd that Daryl and the group ran into, well, Daryl and the group, I should say, Daryl, Michonne, Stookie, and Tyrese ran into, was an incredible scene. That was a great scene. You know, as I had predicted in the preseason, there were a lot of zombie fodder deaths. Zachary, a lot of people at the prison dying. We could expect that. But like I said, the first half was great. Some disappointments of the first half of season 4 was Tyrese. Tyrese kind of let me down in the early going. He was so, like, just such a crybaby. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you shouldn't be upset that your girlfriend's dead or somebody killed your girlfriend, but just he was a big puppy dog in the first. It just, I don't know. I wasn't buying the whole, you know, singing and all this stuff to Karen and all that. It's like, okay, I guess when I saw him in the trailers hammering people down, I was expecting more of a let's get out there and do our thing kind of Tyrese. And, you know, he's singing, he's loving, I don't want to be on the fence. I don't want to be out there fighting them neither. You know, and then he went out on the run with Daryl and them, and he was just very depressing. Another disappointment, I would say, is Glenn. And not necessarily Glenn himself. I think the writing for him, when I think about Glenn and all he's done in this series, he kind of took a back seat in the first half. He was sick for most of the first half. He wasn't involved in the fight, really, with the governor in that war. And, he had some minor moments, but for the most part, he really disappeared. So, but that's not really his fault or the actor or whatever. I think it's just the writing. They probably didn't have room for him. So I'm a little disappointed because I like Glenn. Glenn's done a lot for the show and a lot for the series. He's been a great help for the group, and he's grown a lot. So to see him kind of just stop there, you know, it was kind of, so those are my only two disappointments. Was Tyrese. Up until the end, he finally stepped up a little bit, and then for the most part, Glenn was like non-existent for the first half of the season. I'm expecting that to change in the second half, but, you know, that's pretty much it. The first half was phenomenal. It was one of the best first halves of this series since its inception. Obviously, the first season didn't have a first half. It only had 6 episodes, but you get what I'm saying. And I'm looking forward to the second half. A lot of things are going to happen. A couple of, you know, I know that my Walking Dead group here is growing quite a bit. I've had a couple of people ask me if I'm going to do any kind of predictions. I haven't decided yet. If I do, maybe I'll do some later this week. I'm definitely not going to do any death predictions because I don't think, if we do see any more death, it might be maybe one more. And I pretty much have a good idea of who it is. So I don't think it's going to be much of a prediction, more than just an agreement with everything else that's out there in terms of the rumor mill. But that's pretty much it, guys. I just wanted to run through the first half real quick. Like I said, I will be re-uploading my reviews of the first half of Season 4 that I did on the ODT. The last episode review is already on the channel. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out. I'll leave a link for that in the description. And that's pretty much it. So Walking Dead first half was great, and looking forward to more in the second half. Take it easy, guys, and I'll see you next video.